Hi, I'm Executive Chef Jason White here at Food for Thought. This is Flourish. We'd like to give a shout out to the Pico community and welcome you into the kitchen today for our demo, making everything but the kitchen sink pot pie. So the recipe is more of a guideline and less of a recipe. So what we did was we came up with a dish to where we could use the things that we had laying around in our pantry, in our cooler or freezer. So not that you have to have these ingredients, but if you have things that that need to be used up, by all means, throw them in the dish. So there are no rules. So the first thing we're going to start off with is a medium or over medium heat. You're going to add about an ounce and a half of olive oil, canola oil, soybean oil. It's up to you. There's really, again, no rules. So we're going to start off with our mushrooms. And these could be any mushrooms. They can be your shiitakes, your creminis, your portobellos, your white buttons. It doesn't have to be mushrooms. If you don't like mushrooms, then it's not mushrooms. You can choose another vegetable, whether you have zucchini, asparagus, no rules. All right, so everything else we have here, so at least as far as the veg side, we got onions, we got bell peppers, we got carrots, corn, peas, and some garlic. Frozen vegetables are fine, fresh, ideal, sure. But again, if you have the canned items, you have the frozen items, it's all good. So anything can be going in this pot. So once your mushrooms have sauteed for a couple of minutes and you've seasoned them, go ahead and add your yellow onion. We will then add the bell pepper, carrots, the sweet corn, and the green peas. Okay, so this will take about 2-3 minutes. Soften up the vegetables a little bit. And again, salt and pepper. You want to make sure everything is being seasoned. Don't just season at the end. You know, season throughout the cooking process. Once this has gone for 2 to 3 minutes, go ahead and add your chopped garlic. This mix will then go another 3 to 4. Question was asked earlier was why not the garlic in the beginning? And because we have some raw veggies that are going to take a little bit of time, especially the carrots, if you throw the garlic in the beginning, you stand a very good chance of scorching your garlic. So this is why we've decided to incorporate our garlic towards the end of the vegetables being sauteed, because I don't think anybody likes burnt garlic, so not good. All right, so once you've got the vegetables sauteed off, you're going to go ahead and remove them from the pot and set them to the side, because our next step in this process is cooking the protein. Okay, so once the vegetables have been removed from the pot, we're going to go ahead and start browning off our ground meat. So today we have ground turkey, but it doesn't mean you have to have ground turkey. If you want to use ground beef, ground pork, ground chicken, again, and I don't want to keep reiterating myself, but this is just a guideline. It's not a recipe that you have to follow to a T. Use whatever you have available. It will all work out in the end. So we got the ground turkey in the pot. We're going to add some sausage. Uncased, we had some pork breakfast sausage available, so that's what we chose to use. You can go ahead and use Italian bratwurst. It's really up to you. Once we start browning this off, again, season it. So black pepper, kosher salt. All right, so our other ingredients that we have for the pie include some diced ham, some end cuts, things we had extra from slicing out deli meat, which makes sense. We've got some pepperoni here, which is nothing special. It's a standard pepperoni that you get at the store. We just happen to have some left over from the pizzas. So we decided to incorporate that. And a couple of ounces of bacon that has been chopped and cooked. Reserve the fat. Fat's flavor, you're going to want to keep that in here. Plus, it's also going to help us when we make the roux later. So the thickening agent that's going to give us that nice silky sauce for the pot pie. So as you're browning off your ground meat, turkey, beef, pork, whatever it may be, your other ingredients, you want to be mindful of your salt and pepper. So pepperoni, salami, your deli hams, they're going to be higher in salt. And so what you don't want to do is get to a point to where all your filling is made and now you've over-seasoned everything, considering how much salt those ingredients are bringing to the dish. So just be mindful of that. All right, once we get the meat all browned off, we're going to take our veggies and get them back in the pot. So we're going to want to incorporate the veg into the meat. Nothing needs to be cooked any further. You just want to mix it thoroughly. And then once you do, we're going to go ahead and we're going to add the flour. So the flour here is our thickening agent, which is going to give us that sauce. So we'll sprinkle some AP. Does it need to be AP? Can it be gluten-free? Yeah, it can be gluten-free. It can be rice flour. If you're gluten intolerant, go ahead and go that route. Considering we're making a pot pie today and you are gluten-free, you can omit the pie shell and you can go shepherd's pie route and make yourself a batch of mashed potatoes. And once you have your filling, you can fill your baking dish or your pie round, whatever you have. Go ahead and pipe your mashed potato puree on top, bake it off the same as you would as a pot pie. Okay, once you have that rawness of the flour cooked off a little bit, you're going to add your beef broth. Does it need to be beef? Of course not. It can be veggie broth, chicken, turkey. This will cook for 2 to 3 minutes just to allow it to thicken up before we fill the pie shell. You can go a couple of routes. I mentioned shepherd's pie earlier. If you wanted to go, or if you're going to go pot pie, I should say, we chose to do a 9-inch store-bought. So you can get this at any frozen food section at your grocer. We preheated our oven to 375. We're going to, once we finish the sauce, or once we finish the filling, and incorporate the cheese, we'll fill this, we'll top the pie crust, and then bake it for 20-25 minutes at 375. If you're going to do individual ones, you see the mini ones at the store, you're going to want to go ahead and kick your oven up a little bit to 425, and they're going to bake for about 10 minutes less than that. All right, so once we've gone for about 3 to 4 minutes, we're going to go ahead and incorporate our Parmesan cheese. And again, taste your filling. Make sure that the salt and the pepper is right. Adjust if you need to. Take your pie and fill it. All right, so as our pie mixture is cooling off, we're going to go ahead and work with our dough a bit. Now, we went and purchased 9-inch pie tins, already done with the dough in it. You can also purchase some dough that's been sheeted out at your grocery store, like this here. So we just took our dough sheet and cut it just to fit over the 9-inch pie dish. So once your mixture is cool and you've got your dough ready, you go ahead and stuff it. What you want to do is you want to be very generous. You want the pie to be almost a pillow. Don't skimp. Make sure you get all your filling in there. Now, this recipe is going to make one 9-inch pie, like you see here, or 6 of the small 4-inch individual ones. So depending on what you purchase at the store, what you have in the house, that's how much you're going to get out of this recipe. Now again, like I talked about earlier with the shepherd's pie, if you're gluten-free, this will cover a 9x9 baking dish. And then you will just put your mashed potato puree on the top and go ahead and bake it off at the same temperature, same time. Okay, so now that we have our pie stuffed, we're going to go ahead and take our sheet of pie dough. And we're going to place this right over the top. Stretch it a little bit around the edges. So again, we've got this top sheet cut just a little bit bigger than a 9-inch tin. So we can go ahead and get this folded over. Now it's up to you if you want to go ahead and trim this edge. Personally, I like to leave the edge, only because that's some of the best parts of the pie, that crispy crust. But once you get that done, it's up to you if you want to crimp it with your fingers or if you want to go around and seal it with the back of a fork. Okay. Once you have that all set, go ahead and make some slits in the top. You can make them really wherever you want. I just like to do 3 right in the center. This is going to allow the steam to release as it cooks. Then you want to take your egg wash and milk mixture and go ahead and give this a brush. What this is going to do is it's going to help to seal in some of this moisture in this dough, and it's going to give it a really nice brown sheen. All right, once you get that all brushed, go ahead in your preheated oven. Again, with the 9-inch pie, you're going to want to do 375. With the smaller 4-inch pies, you're going to do 425 for about 25 to 30 minutes. Just before the demo, we went and baked one off already. As you can see, I like to keep the edges here. I didn't press it with the fork, but showed you both ways that you could go ahead and prepare the top of the pie. So what we're going to do to serve this is just cut yourself a slice here. All right, so here we have our everything but the kitchen sink pie. And then we're going to go ahead and serve this with a nice little side salad. So we went ahead and picked some greens from the cooler that we had, some oak leaf lettuces, a little bit of watercress. We're just going to dress this very simply with some extra virgin olive oil. Nice squeeze of fresh lemon. A little bit of salt and pepper. And there you go.